Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I am going to be talking about my thoughts and opinions on the Depth of Night mode for Elden Ring Nightreign. Now, obviously, this is a little late, but considering that a new sort of fix or patch to this game mode came out, and I just recently got to Depth 5 finally after a little bit of grinding, I thought I would give some of my opinions, the good, the bad, the ugly, that type of thing. I mean, this isn't going to be a very long video. It's not going to be very professional or anything. This is just going to be a quick little video going over stuff like that. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that certain depths are just more fun and more enjoyable than others. Like, Depth 1 doesn't really make any sense. Depth 2 is, kind of the consensus, the best depth. 3 is also pretty good. 4 is just completely pointless. And 5 is just for the people who want to go above and beyond, right? What I mean by 4, by the way, being pointless, is just like, it's essentially 5, but you're not in depth 5. And 1 is just, you barely even notice anything. 2 is really where you start to notice. Things are hitting harder. You're not really getting away with certain things. Same thing with 3. And the damage is a lot higher. But you can still tank certain shots in depth 3. And this is a big problem, is that now that I'm in depth 5, I have to voluntarily remove myself from depth 5 if I ever want to play something else. So like, if I want to go back to depth 2, I have to, first of all, drop so many rankings. And also, watch them, I'm not going to do that, because watch them add, like, rewards, which is a point I'll get to later. Watch them add, like, a reward for depth 5, and you have to currently be in depth 5 to even get it. Screw it. We'll talk about that right now. The lack of rewards. What is the purpose, other than, still playing the game and having something new to do, to get to this higher rank, right? Because why wouldn't you just stay in depth 2 or 3? That's where the difficulty is fun and enjoyable. Once you hit depth 5 and you post your picture on a freaking YouTube video, and you do your little freaking you do your little flexing on the homegirls, and you get some numbers out of it in depth 5. What is the point of being in depth 5? There's nothing into it. There's no outfits. There's no customizable relic, anything like that. I think that's a huge fumble. It's a huge flop, man. And another flop is the kind of the character, the non-balancing for characters. Like, it's very clear that there are 2 characters that are way better than everybody else for this game mode, and it's because of the game mode not being as different as we thought it was going to be, which I'll get to later. But Iron Eye and Wilder are essentially what you want to play. There's almost really no reason to run anybody else in this game mode. Of course you can, but once you get to a higher depth, there's just no way you're going to make it as viable as these other guys, right? Wilder obviously has that new bleed on his claw shot, which is really nice, but the main reason, obviously, is his Sixth Sense, or whatever the hell it's called. His freaking extra life, essentially, that you can just tank a free death. Why would you want to play somebody like Raider, whose kind of whole thing is to take damage, and you can't even do that now? You can't even really play somebody like Revenant effectively, because her summons just die in 1 hit. Even in depth 1, that kind of happens. But again, most people are not in depth 1 by now. They're in depth 3 to 4, I would imagine. And I'm going to go into also imagine that 3 is going to be like the new Diamond from Overwatch. If you guys know about, like, rankings. Any kind of game where, like, it's not like mid-ladder. I guess it is mid-ladder, right? It would be 3. And, like 4 is like your Masters, where people are good at the game. It's just like, it's annoying as hell, because when you lose one, you're screwed over. But yeah, I mean, they really need to balance certain characters out. And the fact that they're nerfing, a Revenant relic when nobody's even playing Revenant, and there's no really reason to even play Revenant. So why are we nerfing her relic, which wasn't even that helpful anyway? I mean, it was nice, but it wasn't even really that helpful. I don't understand, man. Unless you're in trios, there's really no reason to run anybody else other than Iron Eye or Wilder. Unless you're just the GOAT, obviously, right? If you want to run somebody like Recluse. Obviously, she can do, like, the most damage. But yeah, that's kind of my point there. A little rambling. And this kind of ties into the next point, and this is kind of like really the main point that I think the community also agrees with me on. Let me know if you don't agree with me on this, but this game really isn't that much fun. It's just the same game. That's really it. And their idea of enhancing the game in this depth of night mode is just kind of like Elder Scrolls difficulty scaling, right? It's legendary difficulty, literally not being anything legendary. It's just enemies have way more health and they do way more damage. So in this game mode, there's nothing really different other than not knowing who you're going up against. And sometimes, you're right, they have two good ideas, right? They have the blank map where you can't see anything, and then they have the random Night Lord. I like that. That's cool. They should have kept the ball rolling with that and kept going with ideas like that, because now this game mode is essentially, it's just bullet sponging. You're going to be there for a while, and be prepared not to do as much as you would normally do in a regular expedition, especially if you're on solo. Be prepared to not get level 15 unless you're playing Iron Eye type of game mode, right? It's not really that fun. It's not really that interesting. Obviously, the difficulty is fun for a little bit, but then again, like the base game, it kind of, isn't that exciting anymore after a little bit, because it's like, it's still just the same thing. And then occasionally you'll get these modifiers, which honestly, not even honestly, I don't even know why I'm even saying that. Literally, I've only gotten that through my grind to depth 5. I have gotten a modifier twice. I got the blank map once, and then I got the random Night Lord one time. One singular time, and it was on my final game to getting depth 5. And so it's like, it's not even really like it's going to happen that much. What I think they should have done is each depth have a different version of that. They should have kept all the depth difficulties kind of the same, right? About depth 3. I think depth 3 is about good. Depth 2 or 3, but obviously 3 is a little bit more challenging, right? What they should have done is really leaned into that randomness, made more seeds, made more chaos, right? Like a shifting earth pops up out of, like, you don't know what shifting earth obviously you're going to get, and it's almost sometimes maybe even guaranteed. Something like that, I don't even know, or like certain bosses aren't in the shifting earth, or like they're out of location, right? Like Borealis isn't where you think he is. The power, the heart of the mountain or whatever, isn't where you think it is, it's somewhere else. Like cool things like that. Like they had the idea of the random Night Lord, and they had the idea with the blank map. They could have really leaned into stuff like that. Maybe a map where everything is opposite, right? Like where a mausoleum or a great church is shown up on the map when actually there's a ruin there, or there's a church on the top side of the map, and you're like, okay, let's go, let's go to that church up top, and it's it's an Everjail or it's another ruin. That would be really cool. I think that would be really sick. Also, they could have really switched up bosses, like maybe make some of the Everjail bosses field bosses. Like maybe let me run into a Godskin Apostle in the field, and then maybe out of an Everjail let me get the frickin' Blackblade Kindred, something like that. Like just switch things around a little bit more, make it different. Obviously, the weapons, the passive, I think these are really cool. The things like that. The new relics are obviously really awesome, but they are just even more gambling and more grindy. Like I spent, I think like 1,200,000 merc. I know I kind of know life this game, but I spent 1,200,000 on the new relics, and I would say I have like maybe 2 pretty damn decent ones. All of the other ones that I have are just so bad. They either aren't worth it, or the downsides are so just awful, right, for the character that you would be putting on. And also, it's like, I'm not playing some of these characters at higher depths anyway. Like, I'm depth freaking 5. I'm not going to voluntarily, I'm not going to go down, right? It took me a while to get to depth 5. I'm not going to go down at this point. So, if I'm going to play it again, I'm going to play Wilder or Iron Eye. And some of these relics don't work with some of these other characters. And obviously skill issue, right? You could just say skill issue, but at the same time, it's like, this game mode isn't just for people who are trying to no-hit literally everything, and that's kind of what the game mode is at depth 5, right? It's the same thing, expect to do a little bit less, and just no-hit everything. I mean, I don't think that's very fun. I think they still could kind of rework this game mode and really make it super interesting, like with some of the ideas that I was saying before. Alright, next up. Random Night Lords are fun, and the blank map is fun. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so unprofessional, bro. You know what? I'm not going to cut this out. I was thinking in my head I'm going to cut this out because I was looking at a freaking Word document of things I'm going to talk about. I'm not cutting this out. I'm real. I'm authentic out here. This is a gripe. Everdark bosses should give you more points. I can't stand the fact that I've beaten Everdark Libra at depth 4. Dude, I should not be getting 200 points for that. Give me a frickin' break, bro. Give me like 500. Maybe that's a bit. Give me like 100 extra, okay? Obviously, they have an idea of doing that, right? Because of the freaking modifiers. I would so rather get a random Night Lord and have the one time I got a random Night Lord, it was regular Tricephalos, so it was a free freaking win. And it's like, if I defeat Everdark Libra, I don't get a free win. It's not a free win, right? But I get less points. Come on, man. That's so dumb. Get out of here with that. That's kind of it. The good, the bad, the what is the good? The good of this game is that there's more things to do, obviously. But again, it kind of wears off pretty fast, especially if you get to depth 5. Especially also if you realize in the back of your head, wait, why am I grinding this game mode? There's really no reason to get to depth 5 or depth 4. There's no benefit. The game just gets harder and more annoying. I can't tell you how annoying the game is certain times. Also, because certain day 1 bosses, especially if you're playing solo, are just kind of impossible. Like, I'm like, it's not impossible because I've beaten them, obviously, but like, they're just so like, I really want to quit out of the game like immediately. Especially if I'm on solo, I'm really just want to quit out. But it's like, dude, if I get Duke's Your Freya, like, I'm just like, come on, dude. Or if I get Tibia Mariner, I know they nerf both these bosses, or Royal Revenant. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments talking to me, oh, Royal Revenant's kind of easy. Dude, he's annoying as hell. Stop. That boss freaking sucks. You know what I mean, man. You know what I mean. Oh, man. Like, this game mode could be so nice. It could be so good. There needs to be rewards. And I think that they will. I said that in the last video I did. I think they will add in some rewards, whether that be outfits. But I can also see them not. Like, here's the thing, like, with this game. I feel like this game has so much opportunity to be so amazing and have so many live updates and so many new things come out consistently. Again, I know that this game mode's only been out, or this game has only been out for like 4 months. It came out like May 30th, right? So like, they still have time, but like, I really feel like they really need to jump at the opportunity. I don't think they really understand how big this game could be and how consistent the player base for this game could be. There's already so many people like me that just keep on playing this game, that are still playing this game. They should really look at the numbers, see how many people have gotten to like at least depth 3, and that should be very telling as to how much people are willing to play this game. Like, if I was them, I would release a new map right now. Same Night Lords, whatever, yeah, sure. But we really need a new map right now. That would bring so much extra life into this game. A new map would be so crazy. New Shifting Earths. Like, there really could, there's so many, again, in the Shifting Earth problem video I did, dude, you could literally in your head right now make up a new one. Crumbling, Farum Azula, freaking Shifting Earth. It's that easy. You just think of it, and boom, Shifting Earth, and you're like, okay, Malekith at the end. There's so many good ideas for this game. I just feel like they're not capitalizing enough on certain things. Like, we're missing out on a lot of cool bosses. Like, okay. I'm not going to get into that. To have a whole nother video where I got into that. Because I'll go all day. Pause. But yeah. That's kind of all I wanted to say, man. This game mode is good. At its best, this game mode is a little bit of something extra to do. It's not really that much more fun, in my opinion. Depth 2 is quite fun. Honestly, I think that is kind of the peak of this game, because it is a little bit more challenging, which the game should be, to more experienced players. But after that, it just is boring, because it's like you're sitting at a boss for a certain amount of time. You're not getting hit, like, obviously, right? Like, you know how to freaking dodge boss movesets because you've been playing the game for a while, and you're just sitting there doing less damage, and the boss is doing more, damage to you. That's not really enhanced. That's not like a different, that's not like, there's no different move sets. Like, they've added different move sets for certain bosses in this game. How hard is that to do that again for certain other enemies? Like, just something to kind of switch things up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you guys here for too long. Let me know if there's any kind of videos you want me to see to do. I don't know, kind of losing some ideas for some videos, man. Not really posting as much either. But yeah, I've just kind of been grinding to depth 5, and I got it, and now I don't really know what the hell to do in this game. And don't even try to get me to go to freaking 10,000 points. I'm not doing that. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.